Picture the most normal neighborhood you've ever seen. Maybe it's yours. Houses with shutters, green lawns, minivans in the driveway, a swimming pool in the back, a white fence. Now picture that underneath that yard, right beneath where the children played and the dog ran, there are bones. Not one or two. Dozens. This is the story of Herb Baumeister, a family man, a business owner, a little league dad, and one of the most prolific serial killers in American history, hiding in a neighborhood that never once suspected a thing. Hamilton County, Indiana, early 1990s. Herb Baumeister was, by every appearance, doing well. He ran a chain of thrift stores called Save-A-Lot, successful enough to afford a 19-acre estate in Westfield, Indiana, a quiet town north of Indianapolis. The property had a name, Fox Hollow Farm. Fox Hollow had everything: a sprawling house, barns, a swimming pool, woods stretching back beyond what you could see from the road. Herb lived there with his wife, Julie, and their 3 kids. He coached soccer. He showed up to school events. He was, by all accounts, a devoted, if slightly eccentric father. Neighbors described him as intense. His wife said he was quirky. His kids just thought he was dad. But here's the thing about Herb Baumeister that nobody at the PTA meetings knew. Herb had a secret life. When Julie took the kids to visit her parents on weekends, which she did regularly, Herb didn't just sit at home. He drove to Indianapolis, to the gay bars along the strip, and he found men. He'd offer them a drink, an invitation, a night at his estate with the pool and the privacy and all that space. Most men said yes. Some of them were never seen again. In 1994, a private investigator named Matt Toon was handed a list. Missing men, all from Indianapolis, all last seen at or near the gay bars on the north side of the city. All vanished between 1980 and 1995. The Indianapolis Police Department had been struggling with these disappearances for years. The victims were mostly young men. Many had no permanent address. Some were estranged from family. They were, and I say this with full weight, easy to disappear. Toon started pulling threads. He followed tip after tip, dead end after dead end. But one name kept surfacing. A man the bar regulars called Brian Smart. Brian Smart was charming. He had money. He had a pool. He drove a nice car. He invited men to his place in the suburbs. Several people said they'd gone with him. Several more said they almost went with him. But something felt off at the last second, so they declined. The ones who declined were still alive to talk about it. Toon tracked the name, found an address, found a face. Herb Baumeister. He brought this to the Indianapolis Police Department and made a request. Let us search Fox Hollow Farm. Julie Baumeister, not knowing what investigators suspected, agreed to let them come out. Herb said no. He refused the search, threw investigators off his property, told Julie the police were harassing him because he was bisexual and the department was prejudiced. Julie believed him. the police backed off. That was 1995.
Here's where the story takes a turn that still haunts me. In the summer of 1996, Julie and the kids were home at Fox Hollow. One of Herb's sons, just a kid, was playing in the woods at the back of the property. The kind of thing kids do, running around, exploring. And he found something in the leaves, a bone. He picked it up, turned it over in his hands, and because he was a child, and children are curious, brought it to his mother. Julie looked at it. She assumed it was from an animal. It happens on a big property like that. Deer bones, raccoons, whatever. She called Herb. He told her not to worry about it, that a friend of his had been disposing of animal carcasses on the property. He'd take care of it. She set it down and didn't think twice. But the bone wasn't from a deer. Weeks later, that same bone, still sitting at Fox Hollow, was examined by investigators. It was human. And when they searched the property more carefully, they found more. A lot more. Scattered across the woods at Fox Hollow Farm, bone fragments, skulls, personal effects. The remains of at least 11 men. Some investigators believe the actual number is much higher.
By the time police had enough to act, by the time the warrant was signed and investigators were ready to move, Herb Baumeister was gone. He'd fled to Canada. Whether he knew the walls were closing in, or whether he simply ran when his marriage finally collapsed, Julie had asked for a divorce. We'll never know for certain. What we do know is what happened next. On July 3rd, 1996, Herb Baumeister drove to Pinery Provincial Park in Ontario, Canada. He sat down, and he took his own life. He left a suicide note. It said nothing about the murders, nothing about the men, nothing about Fox Hollow. It talked about his business failing, his marriage ending. He took his secrets with him. In the investigation that followed, detectives tried to piece together who Herb Baumeister really was. What they found was a man who had shown signs of mental illness since childhood, a man who had urinated on a teacher's desk as a child and laughed about it, who had brought a dead bird to a classmate's desk as a joke, who struggled to hold relationships, hold jobs, hold himself together, until somehow he found a way to appear normal enough, long enough. They also found evidence that the killings may not have stopped at Fox Hollow. Investigators connected Herb to a series of murders along Interstate 70, a stretch of highway cutting through Indiana and Ohio, where the bodies of unidentified men had been found throughout the 1980s. Some cold case investigators believe Herb's victim count could reach into the 20 or 30 range. We'll never know, because he's gone. The families of the confirmed victims, men like Roger Goodlett, Richard Hamilton, Alan Broussard, Stephen Hale, got some answers, got bones to bury, got a name to put to the nightmare. But they didn't get a trial. They didn't get to look him in the eye. They didn't get to ask him why. Julie Baumeister, who by all accounts had no knowledge of her husband's crimes, was left to raise 3 children in the wreckage of a life she thought was real. She's spoken publicly about the horror of finding out who she was married to. She had no idea. Or maybe that's the most terrifying part of this whole story. Not the bones in the yard,
not the double life, but the fact that a man can be a monster, a prolific monster, and the people closest to him can go to sleep every night in the same house and never know.
Fox Hollow Farm still stands. Over the years, it's changed hands. New owners have moved in and moved out. There are reports that the property has had unexplained activity. Sounds, shadows, feelings that won't settle. Whether you believe in that kind of thing or not, I think you'd agree. Some ground carries weight. Some ground holds things. And sometimes, the most dangerous place in the world isn't a dark alley or an abandoned building. Sometimes, it's a house with a white fence, a swimming pool, green grass, a man who coaches your kid's soccer team, waving at you from across the yard. That's all for today's story. If this one got under your skin, it should have. Leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, stay careful, and I'll catch you next time.